boy, as they call it. We brew some really, really good lagers.
Yeah.
And then our Sherman Bock is another one that I absolutely love. It's our 7% Bock that's taken a lot of Shiner Bock taps.
Good. Wow. Because I love... Shiner is, for me, my water. Like, if I've ever gotten to the point of drinking too much and I'm still want to, have a drink and enjoy myself, Shiner's one way to go because it's water for me. It's beautiful.
We're here after the podcast. We'll go next door and I want you to try our Sherman Bock and then the crispy one.
Nice. Perfect. Yeah, it's so funny because the whole craft beer trend, like, it's a pendulum where, like, you go to the crazy side of the Martin House, but then, like, most people are now coming back to the lagers because y'all drink them on a regular basis here at breweries, and then also you can't hide anything in a lager. And it takes longer, and generally you have to put in the work to make a good lager.
Exactly. And it's a very hard beer to brew, but we love the crazy shit, man. We love to drink it, we love to brew it, but on tap at my house, I have our crispy one, and I'm probably gonna drink 10 of them tonight in the pool, right? I love that beer, but yeah, I mean it's neat seeing lagers come back. The thing about it though is like as brewers, our job is to get people excited about craft beer.
Yeah.
And if everybody brewed lagers, dude, beers going down.
True.
The seltzers, the ready to go cocktails, whiskey, like spirits are kicking our ass. And so, like when we released the grape Fanta, or we released a pineapple Magic, which is made to taste like a Dole Whip at Disney World. Yeah. That shit gets people excited about beer and then makes them change into drinking something else. Yeah. And so if brewers, we get made fun of for brewing these beers, but look, nothing's exciting about a lager. They're good, but I'm not going to go to your brewery just to drink a lager. And, there's one brewery in Dallas, it's, smaller brew pub that gives a shit for brewing the beers that we do. And they make good lagers, but I'm not driving an hour to go to their brewery to drink a lager.
There you go.
I can drink one here. Yeah. And customers aren't going to do that either. That model's not going to work forever. So you have to brew the crazy stuff. And if not, people just aren't going to be excited about drinking beer.
I can understand that. I'm going to a certain brewery in Fort Worth that is very lager heavy. They also have barbecue, so that might bring people in, but the lagers also could keep people. I mean, I don't know. Because you're always going to have those people that don't really know what craft beers are, and they've never really had an IPA or a stout or a slushy or anything, but they know, like we were talking about earlier, Coors Light, they know Bud Light, they know all the staples that we all grew up with. So whenever they go to a brewery, they're like, oh, what's the closest Coors Light or whatever? And you're like, well, we have kind of this lager, but also we have a Mexican lager. Yeah. So, yeah, you're always going to get those people that come in asking for that stuff, even though they've never had a craft beer before. They just came to a brewery.
Right.
Yeah.
With a buddy or a friend or just having to walk up on it,
yes.
right?
Or a wedding or whatever the hell.
We still get asked every day. I mean, I'm sure it's probably already been asked 10 times over the day is like, I'll take a Coors Light, right?
Yeah.
And they don't realize because they come for our food that we don't serve those beers. We only serve what we make.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
And, and so once people understand it, we try to get them hooked on it.
There you go.
Then from then on, it's it, So, but, just like how you got hooked on a craft beer or someone introduced you, we take our time with our customers and guide them in the right direction.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Our team does a good job with that next door.
I mean, we talked about earlier, if you don't have a good team, you're not going to last as long as you have. Yeah. So now I've heard you say in multiple interviews that you're living your dream and you wonder when you're going to wake up to realize it's all a dream. If this was all a dream, as we know, there's certain spots in dreaming that pop out more than the entire dream itself. What parts of this dream most stand out to you?
What stands out the most is the things that have gone wrong and how we've overcome them. I don't know if you ever watched the movie. It was the Family Man, and it was
Nick Cage.
Yeah, Nick Cage, and he was this wealthy guy that didn't want to be married, didn't want to have a kid, and he had that dream, and he's a family man, and then he woke up and it wasn't. He went to find her, right?
I love it. It's the little part in that where that one daughter knows that that's not him. Yeah. And I was like, that's the whole movie for me.
Yeah. Go ahead. And so now that I'm a dad, and not to get emotional, but like to me that's the best thing in the world, right? It's like my greatest accomplishment is being a father. And now that I've been together 24 years and Champ's 7, so we waited to have kids, and we almost didn't want them, right? Because there's a lot of things that we want to accomplish. So inside the brewery, not only has the brewery grown, but we've also have raised a family. We've grown a family from it. But the thing about I've thought about that. I'm like, man, what if I woke up and this was just all a dream? what if, how pissed off would I be? Right. So, if we talk, like there's days in the brewery that, I talk about what stands out the most is the things that go wrong. If like, fuck, I just wish this would end. It's just like, and then I'm like, but if I woke up and it was a dream, I would want this moment, right? I'd want this moment back. Right. And so, but we talk about this too is, and I know I take a question to make it bigger than it should be.
I mean, it's a podcast, it should be.
But the thing is like, we talk about it with our employees next door. They're like, oh my gosh, this is such a bad day. And I'm like, what happened? And there was one bad experience with a customer. Customers didn't like the beer. They didn't like the food. Their kids made a mess. They screamed. They made a bad experience. But, we tell them about like how many things went well. Yeah. You don't remember the good things. You only remember the bad. Right. And so, I've been asked this question before, and that's my answer is like, we only remember the bad things that happen. True. When things go good, shit, it's just life, man. It's great. Yeah. It's great. And, like the bad things in life are only like 5 or 10%.
Yes.
The good things are 90 to 95. Mm-hmm. But we expect it always to be that way. And the moment our life is interrupted with some bullshit, that runs our day. And it goes back to the jiu-jitsu. It's like, how do we just relax, close our eyes, and figure this thing out? But, it's, and also to go back with that, we talked about earlier is, the bigger you become, the bigger your problems become. Mm-hmm. So with our growth over it, it just seems like our problems get bigger. Yeah. But, this is a hell of a ride. And, I hope that we can keep doing this ride. And but there's been so many good things that can happen, and I would be so pissed if I woke up and it was raining, right? I'd be so pissed because I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah, you look like you're having fun.
Except for all my problems, right? That I talk about. I'm just saying that because that's all I do is talk about problems. But like, I've always tried to be real with people and not be fake. As like, cameras come on, microphone comes on, life is great, everything's going good. I just tell it like it is. Like, man, we look good on the outside, but just like everybody, we're broken, we've got problems, and we're trying to fix them. Right. But the best thing about being an entrepreneur and a business owner is like crossing those marks off of like, look what I just solved. All right, on to the next one. Yes. On to the next one. Yes. And so, but man, it has been a hell of a ride, and this is as cheesy as it sounds. Is like, I feel like we're just getting started.
That's perfect, and you're 10 years in. So
yeah, I feel like we're just getting started.
Now I have a segment on the show called 5 Counts, 5 random questions. Just answer them as quick as possible. Number 1, what would your last meal be?
Oh, chicken fried steak.
Oh, nice. What sides?
Mashed potatoes and okra.
There we go. If you were a pro wrestler or MMA fighter, what would your name be?
Oh, man, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Let's say bald belly, since I'm bald and I got a big old belly.
Your belly's not that big. It's actually, I think, kind of small. What are 3 things people would not expect about you?
They probably don't know I'm a Christian. Okay. They probably don't know that I'm the only man in my family that's not an ordained minister.
Wow.
And that I'm a huge Texas Longhorn fan.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
You and I think you could hook up something with Matthew McConaughey or something. Who or what inspires you?
My dad inspires me.
That's awesome.
And let's see. And man, what's crazy is cheesy as it sounds, my kids.
They should.
My dad and my kids inspire me.
What would you tell your 17-year-old self?
You're about to have a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, if people wanted to find you guys online, follow you, try your beer, visit the brewery, buy your beer outside, because you, like you were saying earlier, you're in 22 different states, which is amazing. Also, you're international in Mexico. You said UK. You're working on Japan. You're international now. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Where can people do all the things?
So, I tell our people, we can be where craft beer is found.
There you go.
More places are getting into it. More places are carrying it. The best way that I can tell people is like, if you go somewhere and they don't have our beer, ask to speak to a manager, ask to speak to a beer buyer, and say, hey, bring in 903 Brewers. And you can always reach us out on social media, whether it's Instagram or Facebook. Our team does a really good job.
Yep.
And if you're like, I live in Houston, where can I find your beer? Not to name our distributor in Texas, but they've really struggled, and they've really, because we're not with one of the big companies. Yeah. And so we they don't always get our beer to where it should be. But if not, just ask the accounts to bring in 903. Show them a picture on Instagram that you've seen that you like, and they'll get that beer into us. And message us. And like if you're looking for a beer, and we'll help find the closest place to you for it.
I mean, that's the perfect thing to do is wherever your local bottle shop, tap room, whatever, they don't have 903, ask for 903, and like you said, go back, ask you guys on social media or send you an email, and then you can double down and you'll get 903.
Yeah, but ask to speak to a manager. Just don't speak to the person that works at the counter.
Right.
Like ask to speak to the beer buyer or the manager, and that helps us out tremendously. I just posted on the Fanta release this weekend of the states that we're in and our distributors, and so that's a good way for people to go. Okay, look, there's 903. This is the states they're in. This is the distributor. Tell your favorite beer store if you're an account that's listening and you want to carry our product. Reach out to us. We'll get you hooked up with our distributor, and we'll make sure you get some beer.
Boom, perfect. Jeremy, thank you so much. I love your brewery so much. I've loved this time, and you are the most gracious host as well. I can't wait to see what the new place looks like as well, and we can do this again over there. So, until next time.
Yeah, thanks, bud.
Thank you.
All right, let's go next door and get you
Thank you so much to Jeremy. Again, I love 903 Brewers. If you ever are in the Metroplex and you get a chance to go to Sherman, or if you're in Oklahoma, Sherman's just not that far from the border. Go check them out. We are also graced with them throughout the Metroplex in multiple bottle shops. And as you heard, they changed their can. They changed the way that they marketed and everything. It's such a fantastic brewery, and I love them so much. So thank you again to Jeremy, and I will definitely make sure to head up there even more because I still need to check out their brunch. So Sherman, Texas, 903 Brewers, go check them out. Speaking of checking things out, make sure to sign up for our newsletter so you get even more information about us, our guests, and you get some fun facts. Last week, we actually gave a toast to our late, great friend, Terry Funk, absolute legend. We also lost Bray Wyatt recently. Again, we're going to raise the glass to Bray Wyatt. So too many people lost, but that's what life is. Unfortunately, spoiler alert, we're all going to die. But before we all die, make sure to go find us on social media. Great transition there. We are at Brewsers Pod. That is BREWSCRSPOD on the Instagram, the Twitter, and the Threads. You can also find us on Reddit, Facebook, and YouTube. And if you have any questions, concerns, comments, or even requests, send them over to brewserspod@gmail.com. And if you want to follow me directly, it is Rody John. That is RODIEJON. Rody John is the name on the Twitter and on Untapped. Find out what I'm drinking, toast me, cheers me. Maybe we can have a beer later. And if you want to follow me on the Instagram or the Threads, it is official Rody John. And if you want to send me an email directly, it is rodyjohn@gmail.com. So until next time, make sure to enjoy life, drink local, and cheers.